My name is Larry Kimpel, and I love J. Ross TV.
Hey, what's up, y'all? This your boy J. Ross hanging out with my dude Larry, man. He in St. Louis, hitting with Maze tonight, y'all, at Chaffers Arena for the big Tom Joyner Throwdown, man. But hey, y'all know Larry, man. Larry just the cat that just make it do what it do, you know. But hey, Larry, now like when you playing and you walk out on the stage, man, do you still get the same feeling that you got when you were younger walking out on stage, or is it changing?
No, actually, it's a really good question. I still get that, you know, it's not a scared feeling. It's not, you know, it's still, you still get butterflies though, because I think what you want to do your best. You know, you're going out to really give what God has given you to the people, to make them happy, to make them smile. They pay their good money. And so I think it's something. One of the guys I worked with back in the day, Tom Scott, said the butterflies are there because you're doing something important. If you don't have butterflies,
yeah,
you know, when you go to the store, do you get butterflies? No, you just go get your milk and you know, whatever, and you're done. But when you're doing something really, really important, if you're speaking in front of people, if you're presenting yourself, and that's another thing, you're the band, we are giving of ourselves to these people, and we're expecting, you know, if we're doing a good job, then they're going to give that energy back. And so it's an important exchange, you know. So yeah, I still get that little anxiousness right before.
Yeah.
You know, and when we hit, then we hit. You know?
Oh yeah. Now being the bass man, that also makes you the anchor. So how do you approach that when you have to, in a sense, you have the rest of the band attached to what you're doing? You know.
Interesting question. I just try my best to, you know, to play the parts that need to be there to anchor everything and make it, you know, and still make it interesting and fun. Because our shows, the music, it varies kind of, you know, a little bit every night, just a little bit in terms of what we as the group may play. The structure is there always. But just the little nuances, you know, I might play a tenth or something on something that I wouldn't normally play it. Just depending on your feeling during that time. But basically, everything is locked, you know, locked and loaded and ready to go from minute one throughout. Yeah. You know, and then like I said, there's just some few embellishments, but I basically am there to, you know, to make sure that myself and Calvin, the drummer, are, you know, Okun. We're tight, and that everything else feels good, you know, and that Frankie can do what he needs to do. So
yeah. So like now, when Frankie out there grooving, and then he might change the variation in the set, you know. So as the bass player, do you have to keep your eyes on him at all times, or can you hear it in your monitor?
As his bass player and musical director, I have to listen. I have him in my monitor. Probably louder than anybody else, because I have to know every nuance of what he's singing. If he decides to change up and cut something short, I need to know, you know, ahead of time as much as possible, so I can relay that to everyone.
Yeah. So does voice inflections give you the knowledge or an idea of which way you want to go? If you hear his voice change it, like a different inflection.
It could. Generally, it's lyrical though.
Okay. We don't know what that means.
I mean, just what he's singing.
Yeah.
You know, just the lyric in the song. If he's going, like, there's some songs that he generally will extend the vamp, and by the vamp I mean, you know, we're just repeating a section toward the end of the song. If he may want to cut that short, he'll say something that kind of gives me a vocal cue that, oh, he's cutting that short tonight. So rather, when I hear that, I'm like, okay, guys, we're done. Let's wrap it up, you know. But if he continues on, he'll say something different, and if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it's cool. I get it.
There's a couple of little vocal clues and cues that he does sing, and that I have to be aware of.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, you know what, y'all peep out Larry, man, been hitting with Maze and Frankie Beverly, but man, Larry got an alter ego. You know, he go from the suave and debonair Larry Kimpel to Mountain Man Barry Williams. So what's up with Barry Williams, man? What brought that into your creativity?
Well, you know, coming from Chicago, the blues has always been, you know, a prevalent part of my life. Even though I didn't play a lot of blues when I was in Chicago, you know, the first time. I'm back there now. for about 3 years now. But it was always around me. It's an interesting little thing. I went to Howling Wolf's funeral as a kid, as a young high school kid. Didn't know who the heck he was until after the fact, But I signed his book, and because our band director told us, you need to go up, because it was just up the street from our high school, and he was my band director is one of the big reasons why I'm doing this. I'm sitting here in front of you right now. I went to Howling Wolf's funeral. Chester A. Burnett. I'm like, okay. He said he's a great guy. He's a great musician, a great human being. Well, and then I was like, a couple of years later, I'm like, holy crap! I was looking down in the face of Howling Wolf. So I like to think that there's a lineage there. There's that DNA fabric it just kind of came around. It was just something that was inevitable for me to go into that genre. Again, being from Chicago, having that rich legacy of people, like Buddy Guy, like Muddy Waters, like Wolf, all of these guys, Eddie Clearwater, all those cats, and take it not just recreate what they did, but what I'm trying to do is take it to another place while still paying homage to what they did. So it's a little different, but it's interesting. We played Buddy Guy's Legends the other night, last week, and one of the lady in the audience, we finished like the second song, and she hollers out, "So where's the blues?" and my band and my singers are like, "Oh," but it was a teachable moment because this was an older lady. She didn't understand that blues is inside of everything. Mm-hmm. It's inside. I'm gonna look it out. Blues is inside of everything. It's there, but you just. And so I stopped. I took the mic off the stand. I walked over to the lady. I sat down. I was like, "Listen, lady, ma'am, the blues is inside of everything. It's inside of rock and roll. It's inside of reggae. It's inside of jazz. It's inside of gospel. It's there, but you just have to tune your ears and hear them little blue notes in there. It's there. It's there." And I told her, I said, the Rolling Stones, who were just in Chicago the other night, REO Speedwagon, all these groups, Savoy Brown, all these groups, Led Zeppelin, Black Sabbath, they were all blues bands before they, Rolling Stones just won a Grammy Award for a new blues album that they just did. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So it's a rich legacy. It's in everything. You can't probably watch TV today in 2019 without hearing at least 3 blues songs in a commercial somewhere. People don't equate it with that, but that's what it is, and so it's there. It's just one of those things that it felt right for me to go into that.
Yeah. So when you're sitting at the crib and you chilling and you say, well, I feel like writing a song for Barry Williams Band. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So is the approach different? Like when you do R&B or jazz,
Yeah, kind of. I key into words and phrases
like trucks
that people
Chevrolet Bird and a dog.
Trucks and trains and all kinds of. But no, I mean, if someone will say something, they'll say a phrase maybe, and it'll key in like, that's a good basis for a song. And so I'll go in the room and pick up the guitar and start trying to pick it out. One song that's going to be on my next record, it came from I was listening to I'm a new guitar player about 3 years in or so I'm still learning, and I was looking at different tunings, blues tunings and stuff, and so I got this blues tuning. It's a D major chord. So this song came to me and the concept is it's called What You Doing Up Around Here. And it's basically this guy that, he's got a girl, but she doesn't trust him. So she's kind of stalking the dude, actually. And so it's, hey baby, what you doing up around here? So I mean, that song just came from that tuning.
Oh yeah.
different tuning. You know, it really did. It just came from that. You know, and so it's just different. You know, different things that happen. But in answer to your question, yeah, it's just different phrases, or I might see something, or there a lot of this personal experience too. You know, because I've been married 3 times. So yeah, there's a lot of material.
I wasn't gonna even laugh, Larry. I was trying to stop from laughing.
Yeah, but 3rd time's the charm. I love you, sweetie. But yeah, you know, it's just personal experience, man.
Yeah.
A lot of it comes from, which is the blues, indeed. That's the basis of most of that stuff. It's,
Yeah.
you know, it's personal experience, because that's real. So,
Yeah. But last thing though, let's talk about that Larry Kimpel signature you mentioned earlier in the day.
Oh man.
What's up with it, man?
Oh man, I love the bass. You know, Kimpel Luthier out of France. They are such a great group of people and company, and so they put the bass together a couple of years ago, and it is for sale still. You can look it up on YouTube. You know, LK5 signature bass. I have a demo up there. I think it's about 15-minute long video. Demo with all the specs and pricing and all that. But I use it on my show because I get to use it on my show. Can't use it on Frank, but anyway. But I use it on my show, and I've recorded with it. It's a great sounding bass, you know, for me, and so I invite those that are interested to check it out. It's, you know, it's a medium price bass. It's not a you know, low end, medium, you know, medium priced, around $2,500, you know, and so yeah, but it's a great bass. I really do love it, and I'm still learning it actually.
Oh yeah.
You know, yeah, which is an interesting thing, you know, because it's a completely different feel from what I play with Frankie. I play exotics with Frank, and the bass, those are based on a P bass, not P bass, jazz bass model. Excuse me. And so this bass, the French bass, is more of it's a flatter neck, and so there's a different kind of feel and approach that you have to do. So I'm still learning her.
Yeah.
You know, she actually, and she left me for a minute. One of them got stolen.
Oh man.
About 1.5 years ago. I had come home off the road, and got lifted out of my trunk, and she was away for about a 1.5 years. And a friend of mine in Chicago, Jocko.
Oh yeah.
Bass player.
That's my dude.
Yeah, man. He called me up one afternoon, and he's like, "Yo, Larry, I'm gonna text you a photo." And I'm like, "Okay." And he texts me. He says, "Is that your bass?" I'm like, "Yeah, man, that's it." And he found it in a not a pawn shop, but a music store up north. That because it was stolen in Skokie, and it ended up in this music store. And so I called the detectives that were involved in the case, and they met me down at the shop, and showed the man the police report and everything. So they handed it over without any problem.
Yes,
so
sir.
So I got the original one back.
Yeah,
which is a blessing. So yeah.
All right, y'all. That's my boy Larry Kimpel, y'all, a.k.a. Burr Williams on the other side. He in town tonight hitting with Maze, y'all, along with my boy Al, both our music directors for both bands, Kim and Maze, y'all. We're going to see them tonight. This your boy J. Ross. We 10 million strong, and we